Perceptions could change. Opinions can be formed with more and accurate information. Get all sides, views, and opinions on topical issues. Have your say on Perspectives. With Twin Alabi at 9 a.m. Mondays to Fridays on Invicta 98.9 FM. Perspectives. All sides, all views, all individuals are welcome.
Good morning and welcome to the program Perspectives. Perspectives this morning on Invicta 98.9. And as earlier advertised on the radio station, this morning we're having an august visitor on Invicta 98.9. And our visitor, I guess this morning, is Right Honorable Mohammed Ashiru, a former member, Kaduna State House of Assembly, and Chairman House Committee on Appropriations 1999 to 2007. Also elected member, Kuden Makrapi Federal Constituency at the National Assembly 2007 to 2015. He was then a Deputy Chairman, Committee on Appropriations. Contested for the APC governorship ticket in 2015 under the APC. He lost to Malam Nasir Arafai. And lately was flag bearer of the PDP as governorship elections that took place in 2019. He is our guest this morning. And Right Honorable Mohammed Ashiru is also a businessman. Our guest this morning on the program Perspectives. Right Honorable Mohammed Ashiru, good morning and glad to have you in our studios.
Thank you, my brother.
Right.
Let me thank you most sincerely for giving me this opportunity to be here. And I want to wish you well.
Thank you very much. And also in the entourage of our guest this morning, we have Ambassador Sule Buba, the DG campaigns 2019 governorship elections. Also with us in the studios, giving a hand, all of these people calling here, giving a hand to our guest this morning, Danjuma Bello Sariki, Deputy Director General. We also have Dr. Abdurrahman Usman, PDP chieftain with us here, and Alaji Shuabu Gimi, a media consultant, also with us here. And I must also recognize with us the guests that have come all the way from Zaria to, give a lend a hand to our guests this morning. We welcome all of you to Invicta 98.9. Let me start this way, Right Honorable Mohammed Ashiru. I'd like to start this way, that elections of 2019, PDP lost. You were the flag bearer. And there were some, talks about the elections were compromised and that you sold out, or that the PDP sold out to the party then. When you hear this and, all of this thing coming out, what are your thoughts on that now?
Thank you, Joy. Let me start by condoling the good people of Kaduna State on the loss of our friend and brother, the former Deputy Governor, Honorable Barnabas Balabantex. May his soul rest in peace. On the other side, I want to commiserate to our people for the incessant attacks across the state. It is really unfortunate, and we hope and pray to God Almighty to bring an end to this menace. Back to your question. PDP did not lose the election in 2019. Whoever said that we lost election is his own opinion. As far as I'm concerned, we won. But the election was robbed. The situation then, honestly, the good people of Kaduna State came out en masse to vote PDP. The power that be then used the instrumentality of power to hijack the election. That's why I decided to go to tribunal, from tribunal to appeal, from appeal to Supreme Court. Because if I don't do that, I will not be fair to the good people of Kaduna State. I know they voted me and I won, but the election was hijacked. But be that as it may, I don't have any problem with whatever accusation will come up or people are speculating. They have expressed their own opinion. But the truth of the matter, I did not vie for office of governor to make money. That is my candid opinion, my candid position. I contested for the office of governor to serve, at the same time answer the call of my people. They know what I did when I had opportunity in the state and national assembly. And they felt I should join hands with them to vie for the office of the governor. And I answered their call. Election was done, we won. It was robbed. And the price of the robbery is what you are seeing in the state now. So for me, I have never been a sellout, and I will never be. My people are those that are before me, and I will continue to see them as partners in progress. And I will be there for them anytime. So be rest assured, that one is speculation or mischief makers going around thinking that they will have it their way. But Ashiru has never been in politics to make money. For what I have, well, I thank God. Money is not my problem. I'm not saying that I'm self-sufficient, but the truth of the matter is, if you are in government to make money, you are deceiving yourself. Governance is about people. And for anybody to be elected into the office of governor and begin to think that he's there to make money, then it's unfortunate.
Something came out, again, talking about 2019 elections, and I'm going back to Sandan Zozo now, Professor Sani Bello, who had said that even if you had won in any way, your certificate would have been a problem because, again, you know, there were speculations that you just did not get it right with the certificate. So what's the position here?
That one is laughable, my brother. Ashiru has been in the service of Kaduna State government in the last, I think, about 20 years. I was in service of Kaduna State before I retired. And in those days, before you go into the service, you have to pass through screening process. I went through the rigorous of screening and I was employed. I retired voluntarily and joined politics. I contested under zero party during the Babangida regime. The SDP, GPN, and PDP. In all that this process I followed, my credentials were screened and I was allowed to contest and won election 4 times. That is mine and those view. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't have any problem with my papers. The school I went are there, and they will outlive all of us here. We met Kofena College, and we will die and leave Kofena College by the special grace of God, for those coming after us to reap the benefit of education. So he has made that scandalous comment, which by now I'm sure is regretting. But for your information, I have gone to court. I don't want to dwell on this. The judiciary will determine whether I have been to school or not. But it's unfortunate. But for me, it's politics. And he knew why he did that. Time will tell.
Kaduna State, gateway to the north, and of course had been a seat of government of the northern region. It had also been a state that would say is a mini Nigeria as it is, that accommodates all people, you know, from Nigeria. But again, regrettably, we're having a situation now that for some people, very unfortunate. And that's what I want to key on now. insecurity in the state. It's taking a dimension that we hate. I mean, it's a daily thing that people say it. And then we got to this position and asking the question that what's been done and what can be done? And why has it gone to this, and why are we having a situation like this that people are saying, are we overwhelmed with banditry, kidnapping, and of course, making Kaduna a killing field? Just your thoughts about this insecurity in Kaduna State.
It's unfortunate, my brother. Agreed. The security problem in Nigeria is a national problem. But that of Kaduna has been aggravated by the unfriendly policies of APC government. What do I mean by that? As you are aware, because you are in the field, probably you know even better than myself. The government of the day has been busy demolishing shops and areas where people go for their daily, to seek for their daily bread. Retrenchment all over. People are, this menace has extended to schools because of the recent hike in the school fees of students. Majority of them cannot afford this. Despite the fact that we have battalions of unemployed youth, government decided to embark on this unfriendly, they call downsizing and right-sizing. That is not what government is all about. My brother, governance is about service. Government is not a business enterprise that you seek to look for profit in what you do. This added to the issue of banditry. The situation in Kaduna has gone bad when compared to other parts of the country. The unguarded utterances of the man at the helm of the affairs has increased or has drawn the attention of this leadership of banditry to Kaduna. He went categorically saying that these people should be bombarded. These people are more sophisticated than the government of the day in terms of equipment and resources. He said, whosoever, he will not go for negotiation. Contrary to the statement he made when Jonathan was in government, that if it were Jonathan's men or children, he could have gone to pay for ransom and collect his children. Now he's saying a different thing because he's in government. Unfortunately, the situation we find ourselves in Kaduna, like you have said, is a miniature Nigeria. This is where you have people converging in Kaduna happens to be the former headquarters of Northern Region. So you have every tribe in Kaduna. That's why you refer it as miniature Nigeria, because of the businesses they do. And for your information, these small-scale businesses constitute 50% of the internally generated revenue. The government of the day has decided to put them out of business. What do you expect? If an idle mind is a double workshop. If you don't have something doing, they don't have any other alternative than to go to find the means of livelihood. So apart from the fact that we have banditry on ground, you have people moving from one house to another, struggling to find means of livelihood. You can't change this. And the situation in Kaduna has become so unbearable. People are dying day by day, struggling to have ends meet. My concern is that if this issue is not addressed in good time, God forbid, anything. I had time to have written a letter, open letter to the governor, suggesting for a mini, for him to summon a meeting of senior stakeholders in the state. For instance, we have a quite number of former governors in this state that served. That they served and they managed crisis before. We have former generals from Kaduna and some part of northern region that are living in Kaduna. You have the traditional institution. You have former members of the National Assembly. I suggested names of those that they should constitute this conference so that we'll discuss and provide solution to this problem. Because when you bring people together, you are bound to have ideas and ways and means of getting out of this quagmire. Where you feel you can do it alone, you'll never get it right. So the ball is in his court. He's the chief executive officer. He will be the one to be held responsible for whatever goes wrong. And for me, I have done my bit by sending out letters to him and to the general public. People have read this letter, and I received several calls of commendation that that is what it should be. So the ball is in his court.
Could this be another PDP perspective? I'm talking about PDP in the opposition. That Kaduna State, as it is, has never seen this kind of, people will say, gigantic development as it is coming. And, urban renewal that we're seeing, that for all the years that Kaduna had been there as a state and occupying its position as the gateway to the north, that we had never seen this massive development. And time changes too. And so what we're seeing could just be a man that has ideas to make the state go forward and move the state forward. And so opposition may not see anything good in that.
Well, people have their own opinion, and they have the right to express it the way they want. But the truth of the matter is that this is not the first time the good people of Kaduna State are seeing development. There is nothing wrong in urban renewal. But the truth of the matter is that there should be fairness in the distribution of these urban renewal programs. For me, I will never commend them for what they did. When you have spread across the 23 local government of the state, that is where commendation should come. These developmental programs are carried out in about 4 local governments: Kaduna, Zaria, Kaduna South, and Jamal local government. Where else? In a situation where you have 23 local government cut across the state, how do you see this as development? And what is the number of kilometers that have so far been done, taking into consideration the quantum of money that was collected to execute this project? And at what cost do you think these constructions are going on? At what cost? There is I don't see anything. For me, I cannot come and commend anybody knowing fully the total quantum of money that was borrowed. And how viable are these projects? Are they going to put toll gates to be receiving revenue to repay back what he has collected? So there are a lot of things there, and at the appropriate time we'll talk.
Are you really worried about loans collected by government for development?
I should. If you collect loans to develop, there are certain projects that you should go for loans. There are some that you have to manage with what you generate internally and you receive from federation account. collecting revenue, the loans to invest it in an unviable venture, I will never be a party to that. I don't know whether you are aware that Kaduna State is the #1 indebted state in Nigeria. Because when you say Kaduna is #2, I don't believe so. Lagos has been the #1, has everything it takes to pay its loan, because they have the inflow. So for Lagos, I don't see them as indebted. What of Kaduna? How much did they generate per month?
With all the investments coming into Kaduna State, as we see today, by this administration.
That is your own view. But the truth of the matter with security challenges, who are investing in Kaduna? I'm sorry, I'm going into your field. That is your area of profession. But how many, can you name them? So that we'll be educated. And that's why I'm here. But for me, I don't see there is anything going as in terms of investment in Kaduna, taking into consideration the security problem, and coupled with the fact that the enabling environment is not there for them to come and invest. So where you get this information, I'm sorry, I may want to know so that I will be educated more.
We have a situation at hand now, and the situation that we have at hand is also about, you did mention about right sizing and downsizing. Again, we're moving with time, and that a lot of technology has come to solve a lot of manpower. In talking about personnel, human personnel, and people ask that why are we right sizing, why are we downsizing now? But the reality of the time would demand that right sizing and downsizing is just what should be put on the table.
Fine, nobody is saying no. But when you right size and downsize, give me what is due to me, and let me find my level in terms of my benefit. If you are sending me on retirement, give me my benefit, let me go. It's not mandatory that one will have to be in government office to survive. You can go elsewhere and find means of livelihood. If you said, yes, I'm downsizing, I don't have any problem with that. But give me my entitlement so that I'll go and find something doing. Why you send me out, you don't give me a penny? How do you expect me to survive? These are some of the problems that is on ground, and people are crying, pleading for the state government to pay them their own entitlement. They are legitimate earning. You pay them, let them go. Nobody is saying no. I don't know whether you are aware that the industrial court has given judgment on the issue of these permanent secretaries. So no matter where you go, the burden will still be on the state government. People are not fools.
Education is the bedrock, of this society, and waxing stronger as it is in the north, and even if we take them at national space, that again has been put into question about a hike in tuition fees and all of that. For you, the hike, and looking at just how much it is compared to what happens in other parts of the country, is the hike something that we must cry about?
I don't know whether you are aware that it was during the PDP days that this university was established. The reason why we decided to have this as an option is because we had quite a sizable number of students that were unable to get admission. So government in its wisdom decided to establish this university for the commoners, not for you and me. The truth of the matter is that we can afford to take our children anywhere because of the opportunity we have. But those that were made to enjoy the benefit of what was established were the commoners. And to date, the situation in CASO and other institutions in Kaduna is alarming. In Oyo, the state governor had cause to have reduced the school fees to make sure that they accommodate more students in terms of admission. So also in Bauchi, Jigawa, when you go, Kano, is Jigawa and Kano not ABC state? Why are they applying a different policy, taking into consideration that they said they have national policy on education? And mind you, the government of the day when they were sworn in 2015 promised to give compulsory and free education from primary to JSS 3. Is that what is obtainable? I don't know. You may be more educated than me because you are always dealing with people of our type. What of hospital, if I may go to that extent? People go to hospital, they have to pay card to see the doctor. What is the pre-medical care they promise? The situation of education, my brother, has gone below -2 in Kaduna State from where it was. Go to my constituency. I went to my constituency last week. I saw more of toilets than classrooms. Is it because of the feeding program they introduced that decided to go for more of toilets than classrooms? So, Toyin, the situation is pathetic. It's just we are drifting, and we have to wake up from the slumber. They still have time to make adjustment if they can. They have from now to December, if at all they have time. Because next year is political time, and you can't change that mood.
Are you looking at a change in Kaduna State? I mean, in terms of...
We are hoping because, one-man squad is really something that we may hope that he will do better.
One-man squad.
That is it.
It's a special edition of Perspectives this morning, and it's coming to you on Invicta 98.9. And with us in the studios this morning, Right Honorable Isa Mohammed Ashiru, our guest this morning. We'll go for a commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue with the program. Welcome back. It's the program Perspectives. It's coming to you on Invicta 98.9. And with us in the studios this morning, our guest, Right Honorable Isa Mohammed Ashiru, former member, Kaduna State House of Assembly, and Chairman, House Committee on Appropriations 1999 to 2007. Also elected member, Kudan Makarfi Federal Constituency at the National Assembly 2007 to 2015. He was Deputy Chairman, Committee on Appropriations. Contested a governorship, as a governorship candidate in Kaduna State in 2015 under the APC. Lost to Malam Nasru Arafai. And of course, lately, been a flag bearer of the PDP in the governorship elections, Kaduna State 2019. Our guest this morning, Right Honorable Isa Mohammed Ashiru, is also a businessman. And we're talking about matters arising in the state. Right Honorable Isa Mohammed Ashiru. People say that all is not well with the PDP in Kaduna State. And I'm drawing this out of some guests that come on the program that the PDP, as it were, is not a party to worry about in the state. That it has no bite. It can only back but cannot bite. And some of the complaints that have come out is that the PDP is being held by, people who would say that very strong with the party and so would not give out positions to even young ones coming up. To say that all is not well with the PDP in the state. What are your thoughts here?
Well, that's their own opinion. As far as I'm concerned, PDP is waxing stronger. Yes, we have internal problems within us. We are working day and night to see that these problems are sorted out before the end of this year, God willing. And we are making progress. People have their own differences in terms of opinion and what really transpired during the congresses. And honestly, we are making headway. We are discussing, but it's an internal matter that will definitely sort it out before the end of this year.
What is the elections of the Zaria local government telling you about prospects that may come, for the PDP? And we're talking about a stronghold of the ruling party, but the PDP made a show and a strong one, as it were. And so, was that telling you about what may come up? We're going to have the local government elections coming up very soon. And what are we saying with this?
Before then, we'll have a by-election in the local government. And better things will come. That is the assurance I'm giving you. People are... The zone 1, for your information, has been PDP all through. If not for what has happened, because of some factors that I'm sure you're aware, things couldn't have been what it is today. But with what has happened in Sabangari, and I think the by-election for Lere will be on the 14th of August. We will have a good outing because people are ready to show to Nigerians that Kaduna is PDP state and to remain so. And by the special grace of God, come August 14th, PDP will emerge victorious in Lere. Things are changing day by day, especially with anti-people's policy of babies. And we had our problems, like I told you, but that one has been sorted out. We'll have a good outing on the 14th of August. Local government election, you will see for yourself, but I'm sure it will be a landslide victory for PDP in Kaduna State.
Some people would say that, not some people, the majority will go with the thoughts that Kaduna State is the mainstay of, the economy of the state is on agriculture. For you, agriculture and how it has been handled so far, are we getting the benefits or dividends of what agriculture should do for a state?
For your information, Toyin, agric is the largest employer of labor. If you have serious government in place and you capitalize on that, you will take out the jobless from our streets. When it comes to issue of procurement of fertilizer and farming inputs, the government has done nothing as far as I'm concerned. People are running helter-skelter looking for fertilizer, moving to Kano, Zamfara, to buy fertilizer to put in their farms. As I'm talking to you. Is that what it should be? Agri extension services that has been in Kaduna for decades is no longer the order of the day now. What are you saying indirectly? You are sending people out of a farm. And that has contributed to the situation we find ourselves in terms of insecurity. Unfortunately for them, the government, the present security situation has sent people packing from the farms. They are sleeping in their houses with one eye closed because of the security situation. Given the opportunity, I want to assure you that agri extension services will be back as it were, so that we will absorb through irrigation scheme that, let me give you an example, like in Kano, this Kadawa irrigation scheme project, they work 24/7. They produce rice during rainy season. After rainy season, through irrigation scheme, they produce maize from this irrigation project they have all over. They farm 4 times in a year. How do you expect poverty in Kano with this kind of schemes. We don't have them in Kaduna. And we have dams lying, Palo, nothing is going on there. In Nungwara, I know we have dam. Go to Gurara. We can use Gurara water scheme to absorb this unemployed youth of southern Kaduna. Because the water there is something that can be utilized for years without having any problem. And they have the irrigation scheme there, but there are no support from government to take back people to the farm. So these are things that if we address, it will go a long way in solving some of the unemployment problems we find ourselves. And the system we had in those days during our time of fertilizer procurement was a transparent process, and farmers get fertilizer as at when due. Unlike now, that they don't even have, and the cost is prohibitive. Fertilizer, as I'm talking to you in the market, is being sold at 13,000 naira. What was the price in 2015? 3,000 plus. So how do you say that agriculture is gaining ground as far as this government is concerned? We have been taken aback, and so long as we will not get it right, things will not go the way expected.
I want to go back to the issue of security, and something happened recently, and that had to do with the Commissioner of Internal Security and Home Affairs that had visited the community and was barred from even talking to members of the community. And what I'm saying here is that was not allowed to even address the people. We're talking about trust, government and the people. Have we lost it here?
We lost it because people don't have confidence in the government of the day. The issue of security is something that should be uppermost to any serious government. Because if we don't have peace, nothing will work. They have been going around with their siren, parading and moving from one point to the other, thinking that they have security apparatus on ground. But for us, the major problem of this security situation in Kaduna State in particular is the fact that there has to be, if they want to get it right, there has to be collaboration between the security agencies and government. There has to be, if I could remember, in 2017 budget, about 2.7 billion was budgeted for drones to assist the security agencies in locating where these criminals are. I don't know whether they are still on the way to Kaduna, because the way things are going, nobody is talking about that. Issue of cameras all over Kaduna, I don't know whether they are functional, because that one has been captured too in the budget, and a provision was made for the installations of these gadgets. The security of the state needs operational vehicles. Kaduna is growing day by day, but the limited number of the policemen and their operational vehicles are a cause to be worried. So long as this equipment will not be made readily available with communication gadgets, we have a long way to go. So I want to advise that government should have a rethink in making sure that they collaborate with the security agencies and come up with a workable operational models so that we'll get out of this quagmire. People are tired of hearsay on air and the parade this military or policemen are going around the state without result. That's why he was sent out of that school where you talk about the Commissioner of Internal Security. And for me, there was a placement of misplacement of priority. Because I don't know that the Commissioner of Internal Security was a retired military man or is still serving. I don't know. But there should be the right man in the right place so that you get the result. Why you don't have that? Whatever comes, you should take it in good faith.
Let's look at the PDP, in the State House of Assembly. What role are your members, playing, especially in terms of certain laws being passed in the House? Why are we having a quiet, so to say, with your members in the House?
No. Honestly, there is no opposition in the House. I'm sorry, the truth must be told. There is no opposition in the House. Because in opposition, agreed, where a party has the majority, they always have their way. But let's have our say, so that will be vindicated. But in the situation where you don't talk and you are not heard by your constituents, what are you saying indirectly is that you are becoming to be part of, do I say, birds of the same feather. So for me, let them talk. Even if they will have their way, but let them have their say. That is legislature. When you ventilate your mind, whether they do it or they don't do it because of their number, you are done.
Be part of this conversation. Let's hear you. One or two calls that we may take, in the course of this program. And to be part of it, 081 40,000 989, 081 40,000 989, or 070 87 800 989, 070 87 800 989. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. King.
Good morning.
Good morning to the Honorable in the House.
Morning.
It's Francis calling.
Francis.
Mr. Tony, honestly, I'm so happy this morning to hear your analyzing the situation in Kaduna State in particular. The way it is, with that compromise. To be sincere with you, to start with the project going on in the state in terms of urban renewal, to me, as somebody that is residing in Kaduna, it's nothing to write home about. Because, why did I say so? Apart from the development is going on in section of the Kaduna as a state, that is not contributing to betterment of the citizens of the state or the indigenous. Because as it is today, we are no longer sleeping. We are no longer sleeping at night. Some people will stay awake up to 1, 2 a.m. in the morning before they will think of going inside their houses in different angles just because of insecurity. And people are talking of development of ordinary roads that you are not going to generate any revenue from. Look at the market, look at the schools, look at hospitals, and we are talking of government in power. Honestly, it's as if we don't have government, to me as a citizen there. Honestly, I'm so disappointed. Because if this is how government has been existing for years, I don't think there will still be people to rule as citizens or indigenous in this nation and in this state. God bless your getting today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Francis. Okay, we'll stay with your calls.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Chief Musa from Banawa.
Chief Musa?
Yes.
Okay.
Banawa.
Okay, let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to greet my Excellency Mr. Ashiru and what he has opened the eyes of so many that have been blinded with this so-called urban renewal. I think every right-thinking Nigerian and Kaduna people in particular do not consider the so-called urban renewal as something to write home about when they are not sleeping. Who are you building this road for? Are you building the road for the dead? Or you are building the road for animals? Focus on security. Let's have a peaceful Kaduna again. Let's sleep in our houses again. Let's have our schools going on again. Let's have our people.
Okay, Chief Musa, we got you on that. All right, one more call and then we'll come back to our guest. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Tony Aladi, and good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
This is Pius calling you from Malali, Kaduna.
Pius, let's hear you.
I happen to be one of his own social media team in the last election. Mr. Ashiru. I was part of his own social media team. I want to ask him this morning, should in case, supposing you are the Kaduna State governor as today, what are those things that you would have done differently from what the current governor is doing on urban renewal and insecurity? And in the future, if conditional statement, God will bless you to be the Kaduna State governor, what are those things that you will do differently in order to carry everybody along and make human development one of your own priority? Good morning, sir.
Thank you. All right. Okay, we'll come back. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Pius from Malali.
Thank you very much, Pius from Malali. I think I've heard your questions. One, what will I do differently from what the present governor is doing? And two, the issue of security. That's in terms of urban renewal, and the second question is on security. For me, security will be uppermost, like I've said. I will make sure that the state is safe first, where people will go home with their two eyes closed, sleep, and wake up the following morning to find their way in getting their means of livelihood. Where there is peace, everything is possible. Where you don't have peace, nothing will happen, no matter the cosmetic approach you take in showing to people that you are doing something positive to them. The tradition in our party, the PDP, in those days, is where you have government of the people, by the people, for the people. When we were in government, 1999-2007, every segment of the society was carried along in governance, because every local government was represented in government that time. Apart from a representative from the LGAs as commissioners, you have another rep as permanent secretary. So long as you will be fair and just to people, you will live in peace and you will succeed in governance. So where you don't have human face in your approach, nothing in terms of development will happen, and will continue to have problem. So I want to assure you that carrying people alone has been our norms in PDP, and will continue to do same, so that we will reunite the state and bring everybody on board when it comes to issue of governance, because nobody has monopoly of knowledge in governance. So be rest assured that it will be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The issue of security, like I told you, as you have presented, is it security? Yeah, security. We have our own ways that we used in the past. Despite the fact that we have things that have changed in terms of technology, we'll want to adopt the same process we had with little tinkering in terms of approach, because of the fact that things have changed and the population of the state has increased tremendously. There will have to be communication gadgets and vehicles to support the security agencies in carrying out their assignment. The logistic support will definitely have to be there. My problem that is in place now in Kaduna is that the other security agencies are working differently, not in consultation with other security outfits, so that we'll have a harmonious working relationship. And this is coming from the side of government. I don't want to be, talking too much, but like I've said, we have ways and means of addressing this issue of security, because the approach we adopted in the past will not be different from now. Because in the past we used traditional institutions. These are institutions that, whether somebody likes it or not, are the people living directly with the citizens of the state. You'll find information that if you are staying in office, you won't get. And these are people, when you use them, they will solve a lot of problems. But with what has happened when the government came in, there was right sizing and downsizing of the traditional institutions too. And it has affected the security. It has, increased the menace we find ourselves security-wise. These are institutions that, whether somebody likes it or not, must work with, because they are working with the downtrodden. They know at every blessed day the person that comes into their territory and where he's coming from. They have all that it takes in terms of information to guide the security operatives. When we come on board, given the opportunity by His special grace, we'll have to do with what we have on ground and make adjustment in terms of restructuring the institution and bringing back those that we feel they should be back, in making sure that we get the state back with security, so that everybody will go home and sleep.
Human face. That's my last take here now. You talked about human face. Are you saying that governance today does not have a human face?
That is true. So you are not agreed, you are the head here, but you have supporting staff that you want to put their hands in making sure that you succeed. Where you work alone, you don't expect them to support you to succeed. People want their leader to be accessible. Where you don't find that, there are certain information that nobody will want to come to you and give you. So whether somebody likes it or not, governance is about all of us. Everybody has stake. The only problem is that they will not come and sit on your seat and claim that they are governor. But you have a role to play in almost every segment of the society. So also my sister. And continue up to the last person here. So if you don't bring them close, if you don't involve them, they will leave you, they will fold their arms and watch. And that one is very dangerous in governance because you live with your enemy. That's my take, sir.
Well, it's like he who walks alone, walks alone.
Thank you.
And that would just be about the size of it on the program Perspective this morning. Glad to have with us in the studios this morning, Right Honorable Isa Mohammed Ashiru. He'd been a former member, Kaduna State House of Assembly, as chairman, House Committee on Appropriations 1999 to 2007. Also elected member, Kudan Makarfi Federal Constituency at the National Assembly 2007 to 2015. He was deputy chairman, Committee on Appropriations. Contested under the APC in the 2015 governorship election, lost to Malam Nasru El-Rufai, and was a flag bearer of the PDP in the just concluded 2019 elections. And he's a businessman and a big chieftain of the PDP. He's been our guest on the program Perspective this morning. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you, Dr. Tay.
Thank you. And we'd also like to acknowledge with us in the entourage of Right Honorable Isa Mohammed Ashiru. This morning we have Ambassador Sule Buba, the DG campaigns 2019 Gua elections, and the Danjuma Bello Sarki, Deputy DG. We also have with us Dr. Abdurrahman Usman, a PDP chieftain, and Alhaji Shuaibu Gimi, media consultant. And of course, to thank our guests too, who had all come all the way from Zaria to be part of the show this morning. Perspectives this morning. And I'd like to thank Job for connecting us with the people, and Wisdom for putting us in the pictures. Edward Auta, and who had made this program possible for us. I'd like to tell our guests this morning that we've just not had enough of Right Honorable Isa Mohammed Ashiru. On the House of Belt, we'll be also having him on Friday, to be our guest on the House of Program. And so for our team in House of listeners, we're bringing Right Honorable Isa Mohammed Ashiru back to our studios. We'd like to thank you all for being part of this program. Good morning.